Yo, what's up guys, Batwing here, and as you saw by the title of this video, this is going to be an updated weapons guide to the Wild West. I really just wanted to make a weapons guide that's more organized and more up to date. So basically, I'm going to be showing you the stats for every weapon in the game, and if you find this video helpful, make sure you like the video and subscribe because it really supports the channel. Now anyway guys, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the first weapons I want to go over are the lever action weapons. And the lever action weapons are the Yellow Boy rifle, the Winchester, and the Volcanic rifle. And of course, the lever action weapons are primary weapons. Now guys, let's get into the lever action weapons. Alright, so the Yellow Boy rifle has 6 rounds, and it deals 25% damage to the body and 45% damage to the head. Now the main reason why you would use this is because it shoots fast and it can reload fast. Now the accuracy is pretty decent. Overall, it's a pretty solid weapon for how cheap it is. But although I think that there are better choices. Alright guys, so now we are moving on to the Winchester. Now the Winchester has 8 rounds, it deals 30% damage to the body and 60% damage to the head. Now in my opinion, this is my favorite primary weapon in the game. Now I know others would prefer the Lynx, but because my aim isn't the greatest, the 8 rounds really helps. So if you don't have very good aim, then I recommend using the Winchester because of the 8 rounds. And it does have decent damage and decent accuracy. So yeah, overall, the Winchester is honestly a really good weapon. Alright guys, so the next lever action weapon I want to go over is the Volcanic rifle. Now the Volcanic rifle is found here at Fort Spencer. This is the only way you can get it. You have to open up the shop at Fort Spencer, and then the Volcanic rifle will be right here to buy. And it's really cheap, mainly because once you die, you don't have it in your inventory anymore. Basically, if you die, you will lose this item and you have to buy it again. But, honestly, in my opinion, this weapon is really good. Now, let's go over the stats. Alright, so the Volcanic revolver. This thing costs $80. It has amazing accuracy and reload speed. And this thing deals 35% damage to the body and 40% damage to the head. That's a little interesting. That's a little low for a headshot, not going to lie. Now this thing has 10 rounds. That is very good, considering that it has super fast reload speed. So honestly, this weapon is really good, but I kind of find it weird how the headshots are like really low in this thing. I don't know, I just find that strange. But overall, it's a really good weapon. Also guys, I forgot to mention something interesting, that you can actually fan the hammer with this thing. Really cool. You can fan the hammer with the Volcanic rifle. This is the only rifle in the game that you can fan the hammer with. Pretty epic. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the only bolt action weapon in the game, and that is the Lynx. Now the Lynx has pretty good accuracy, and this thing deals 40% damage to the body and 80% damage to the head. So yes, this deals a lot of damage. But the only downside to this weapon is that it only has 4 rounds. So I would only use this weapon if you somehow have really good aim, which I don't. So that's why I don't use this weapon, and that's why mostly really good players use this weapon. But overall, the Lynx is a good weapon if you're good at the game. But if you're like me and you can't really hit your shots, then I don't recommend using this weapon. Overall, it's a good weapon. Alright guys, so the next weapons I'm going to go over are the one-shot weapons. Now there are only 2 one-shot weapons in this game, and that is the Hartford rifle and the Sharps rifle. So I'm going to be going over the stats of those and basically just how good they are. Let's get into it. Alright, so the next weapon I'm going to go over is a one-shot weapon, and that is the Hartford rifle. Now this weapon has 100% accuracy, mainly because it's kind of like a sniper. I would think of it as that, like a medium range sniper. But it can also shoot long range because of the really good accuracy. So the Hartford weapon deals 75% damage to the body and 90% damage to the head. Now this is really good considering that the reload speed is honestly pretty fast. So yes, the Hartford rifle, if you can hit your one shot, then it can be really good. Because also this weapon does reload quickly, so overall this is a pretty solid gun. It's pretty good. Alright, so now we are going to move on to the sniper. So the sniper, of course, has 100% accuracy. I mean, it's a sniper. What do you expect? Now this thing also has very, very slow reload speed because it is a single shot weapon. So when shooting this weapon, it kind of has to be at a distance. So the Sharps Rifle deals 75% damage to the body. Also, the Sharps Rifle deals 150% damage to the head. This means that you can one-shot Bison, and I just missed. So this means you can one-shot Bison. So yes, the Sharps Rifle does deal a lot of damage to the head. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the only automatic rifle in the game, and that is the Harmonica Rifle. Now of course this is automatic, so it shoots pretty fast, and considering how much shots you have, it has a fast reload speed. Also, this weapon deals 20% damage to the body, and 40% damage to the head. This weapon also has 100% accuracy. Now at first, you may think this weapon is really good, but it's really not, and I'm going to explain why. Whenever you're shooting this weapon, you have to stop and start shooting, which leaves you vulnerable to get shot at, and that is not good because, I mean, this weapon deals very low damage, and you can easily get shot at by probably the Lynx. Like, the Lynx can literally just two-shot you. So yeah, that's pretty much why I don't like this weapon. It's really up to you, though, but I'm not a big fan of this weapon. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be going over all of the revolvers. Now revolvers are sidearm weapons, and the revolvers are the Peacekeeper, the Model 3, the Navy revolver, the LeMat revolver, and the Lock revolver. So I'm going to be going over all of them, all of their stats, and everything like that. Let's get into it. And the first revolver I'm going to talk about is the Peacekeeper. Now the Peacekeeper is honestly it's a pretty decent revolver. The accuracy is okay, and the reload speed, it's a little slow, but overall, it's alright. Everything about this is kind of like in the middle. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. So the Peacekeeper deals 25% damage to the body and 50% damage to the head. And it can also fan the hammer. So overall, it's a pretty, like, decent revolver. It's, like, in the middle. In my opinion, I think there are better options, but yeah, it's a solid weapon. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the Model 3. Now the Model 3 overall is not a great weapon. It has the best accuracy out of any revolver in the game, but the damage is super low. The damage is 20% damage to the body and 40% damage to the head. That is really low. This can also fan the hammer, and it has 6 rounds. But again, I do not like this weapon, mainly because of the low damage. The only reason why you would use this is for the accuracy, but overall, I think there are better choices. So I do not recommend using this weapon. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the Navy revolver. Now honestly, in my opinion, it's a pretty solid weapon. It's really good. So this weapon deals 30% damage to the body and 60% damage to the head. Now, considering that this is a revolver, that's honestly really good. This weapon has pretty good accuracy and a really fast reloading speed. So overall, it's a pretty solid weapon, and if you're just starting, I recommend trying this weapon out. It's not bad. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the LeMat revolver. Now honestly, this weapon is the perfect weapon to fan the hammer with. Because here's the damage, 35% damage to the body and 70% damage to the head. That is insane damage. If you manage to get up close to your enemy and fan the hammer, they are dead. But the accuracy on this weapon is awful. At a distance, you will not land a single hit. So this weapon is basically just made to fan the hammer with. Also, it has very slow reload speed. So I would only use this weapon to go up close and, you know, just fan the hammer on your enemy, and then they're basically dead. There is no way they're going to survive that. So overall, it's a good weapon depending on how you use it. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the Lock revolver. Now this revolver is kind of unique compared to the other revolvers. This is a 2-shot revolver. So this weapon deals 25% damage each bullet, meaning that if you land 2 shots to the body, it will deal 50% damage. And if you land 2 shots to the head, it will deal 96% damage. That is very good, but also it's very hard to hit 2 shots to the head. Now, honestly, in my opinion, and a lot of people agree with me, this is honestly the best revolver in the game. Now, when you first use this weapon, you may not think so, but here's why it's the best. This is the only weapon in the game where you can run and shoot at the same time. You have no idea how helpful that is. That one thing basically makes it the best revolver in the game. Overall, I think this is a great weapon. At first, I did not like it until I just learned how to use it. So honestly, it is worth all the money. I recommend getting this revolver and just learn how to use it first. Then once you do, it will become amazing. Also, this weapon is a 6-round weapon, but it shoots in 2-shot bursts. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be talking about the Volcanic Pistol. Now, in order to get the Volcanic Pistol, your faction has to take over Fort Henry right in this area in the Great Plains. Once you've taken over the fort, you have the shop over here, go to special, then you can buy the Volcanic Pistol. Now I'm going to be talking about this weapon, the stats, and how good it is. Let's get into it. So the Volcanic Pistol is honestly a really good weapon. The weapon has 100% accuracy and it has a really fast reloading speed. This weapon deals 30% damage to the body and 60% damage to the head. This is honestly the best revolver in the game, but also you have to take over the fort in order to get it, so sometimes, depending on the server you're in, it could possibly be difficult to get. But overall, yes, this weapon is great, and if you ever take over this fort, I do recommend using it. Alright guys, now I'm going to be going over the shotgun weapons. Now there are only 2 shotgun weapons. There is the mule shotgun and there is the sawed-off shotgun. Now the mule shotgun is considered a special weapon, and the sawed-off shotgun is considered a sidearm. So I'm just going to go over the stats and basically just how good they are. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so now we are moving on to the mule shotgun. Now the mule shotgun is considered a special weapon, and this has 2 shots before you have to reload again. Now this is kind of interesting because the damage it deals is random and mainly depends on your angle and your distance. Now the mule shotgun can actually shoot pretty far considering that it's a shotgun, and right now, honestly, I think the mule shotgun is overpowered. This thing can sometimes one-shot people. It's kind of insane. If you get the perfect angle and you're like right in front of the person, you can one-shot someone. This thing is like the new meta. So yeah, overall, the mule shotgun's overpowered. Alright, so now we are on the sawed-off shotgun. Now this is considered a sidearm, and this is basically just like the mule shotgun. It has 2 shots until you have to reload. The only difference is that you have to be up close to your enemy in order to deal damage. If you're at a distance, you will not be able to hit your enemy. Now, honestly, this is just a worse version of the mule shotgun. But if you get up close, you can deal really good damage. But yeah, it's just like the mule shotgun. It depends on the distance and your angle. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go over the Dragoon. Now, the Dragoon is a sidearm weapon. It's kind of unique compared to all the other sidearms. I guess you can consider it like a shotgun because this weapon, the damage really depends on your distance and your angle. It's a lot like the shotguns. Now, honestly, I prefer this sidearm more than the sawed-off shotgun, and here's why. It's because this weapon has 5 rounds. That is really good for a shotgun type weapon. It's not a shotgun, but it kind of acts like it, so that's why I think that this is better than the sawed-off shotgun. Now, if you're in the right angle and you're up close, this weapon can deal a lot of damage. So yeah, overall, it's a good weapon, and I recommend using it. It's good. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna be talking about the only VIP weapon in the game, and that is the Golden Mauser. Of course, the Mauser you have to buy the VIP Game Pass to get. Now, this weapon is alright. I just really never cared to use it. It has 100% accuracy, which is good. It has an okay reloading speed. It's alright. And this weapon deals 20% damage to the body and 40% damage to the head. Honestly, this weapon's just a better version of the Model 3 because of the accuracy. This thing has 10 rounds, which is really good. Honestly, it's just a better version of the Model 3, and I find it okay. I just never really cared to use it. So overall, it's a decent weapon. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be going over the melee weapons. Now, there are only 2 melee weapons in the game, unless you consider the axe as a melee weapon. I mean, it is a melee weapon, but I'm not going to include that in the video. There is the regular knife, and there is the Bowie knife. So I'm going to be going over the stats of these 2 weapons. Let's get into it. So the regular knife deals 30% damage to the body, meaning that you have to hit the enemy 4 times in order to kill them. Honestly, I don't think that's very good because you have to get up close when the other person can just shoot you. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say with the knife. Alright guys, so here is the buoy, and why the heck is there an Indian right there? Literally, how did he even get in here? Alright, so anyway, the Bowie knife deals 40% damage, meaning that it takes 3 hits to kill someone. This is just a little better version of the knife. They did nerf the Bowie knife. It used to take 2 hits, I think. Now it's 3 hits. So, yeah, I mean, it's still not terrible, but unfortunately they nerfed it, and that's really all to say with the Bowie knife. Alright guys, so now I am moving on to the bow and arrows. Now there are only 2 bow and arrows in the game. There is just the regular bow and arrow, and there is the horse bow. Let's get into it. Alright, so the regular bow and arrow deals 75% damage to the body and 98% damage to the head. That is really good, but it's hard to hit your enemy, and you have to charge up your bow in order to shoot. Now that also leaves you vulnerable to get shot at, so that is not a good thing. Also, the regular bow and arrow just shoots really slow, so honestly, I don't recommend using it. Sure, the damage is good, but you'll most likely die before you're able to shoot. Now, the horse bow deals the exact same damage, it just shoots faster, and I had this nice Indian that let me test damage on him, so thank you, Indian, for letting me shoot you with the bow and arrow. And, so yeah, the horse bow just basically deals the same as the regular bow and arrow. It's just a better version, shoots faster, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the horse bow. Alright guys, well that is going to be the end of the video. Honestly, I hope y'all found this video really helpful because this was kind of difficult to make. If you did find this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe because it really supports the channel. Now anyway guys, see ya in the next video.